Hey guys, Mr. Tweet here. So yesterday we went over a couple important concepts: scarcity, opportunity cost. Right? Scarcity, we're forced to make choices because there's not enough resources to meet all of the wants that we have. And in the social network clip, we got that idea that human beings frequently they kind of view the next, if they just had a little bit more than what they have right now, then they would be happier, then they would be comfortable, or they'd be satisfied. And then when they do get that little bit more, oftentimes they find that they're not satisfied, that they wish they had just a little bit more, and then they would be happy, and then just a little bit more, and then they would be happy. The idea that if you come from a wealthy family, $1 million is not cool, $1 billion is cool. But Eduardo, who doesn't come from a wealthy family, Eduardo is like, I would be happy being a trout. I would be happy being, the millionaire would be life changing for him, right? So that's the idea, that we constantly want more, and we think if we just had a little bit more than what we have now, then we would be satisfied. It's not that people are walking around saying like, I need a whole lot more for the most part than what I have. It's this idea that if I just had a little bit more, then I'd be satisfied, and it's not satisfying. You get a little bit more and you want a little bit more than that, right? So that's the idea of scarcity forcing us to make choices. So today we're going to talk about utility. And what utility describes is the benefit side of the equation. That utility is, it can be defined as happiness or satisfaction, usefulness, but it's basically just the benefit that you get. So sometimes, you might make a choice that doesn't really benefit you personally, right? How would an economist explain that? Well, if you make a choice that's helping other people, that's still providing you with like an intangible benefit. That's utility still, right? So utility just basically means the benefit that we get from things. Now, the idea of maximizing utility is the idea that we all want to get as much utility as we can out of our resources. So that when we go to use our resources like time, we want to get the most we can out of that. So that if you've got an hour and you're trying to choose how you're going to spend that hour, whether it's watching TV, doing homework, hanging out with friends, going to get food, as the economist, I'm going to say, all right, what's going to give you the most benefit for the cost? And that's what you're going to do. So oftentimes, money is a stand-in for resources. And when people go to use their money, the idea is that they're not trying to get, then they're not going for what gives the most utility. What they're going for is what gives the most utility per dollar, the most utility per resource. That's what we try to do as consumers. And this helps to explain, lots and lots of phenomena, right? So for instance, a year ago, bought a new car, right? Ended up getting a Honda Accord. Now, I could have afforded a nicer, more expensive car if I wanted. It's not like I wouldn't, I could have, maybe like a new Tesla, right? Would I rather have a new Tesla or a new Honda Accord? Probably a new Tesla. It has more utility to me, the new Tesla, than a new Accord. So why did I buy the Honda Accord? Is it because I'm irrational? No, right? The reason why I ended up with a Honda Accord is because there's a big price difference between a brand new Honda Accord and a brand new Tesla. And for me, the difference in price was a lot bigger than the difference in utility. That for the most part, having a nice, new, reliable car is going to be, whether it's the Accord or the Tesla, that's a lot of utility. Now, Tesla's a little bit cooler, save me some money on gasoline. That's kind of cool, right? That's more benefit. Tesla would have more benefit for me, but not enough more benefit to justify the much higher price tag. So when it came time to choose which car we wanted to get, right, we ended up getting the one that was a lot of utility, not the most utility, but a much lower price tag, because it's the utility per dollar that matters, right? My favorite food in the world, sushi. Love to go out and eat sushi. Now, when my wife and I go out to get sushi, we usually don't go to like the best or fanciest sushi restaurants to get that food. Now, could we afford it? Sure, right? If I wanted to, I could go to the most expensive sushi restaurant in San Diego and get food there and be perfectly fine. But I don't, right? Why not? Well, it's because my favorite sushi place in Kearney Mesa called Nibbon, where the sushi is really good and the price is pretty low, so that you're getting a really good benefit for a really low cost, maximizing that utility per dollar, right? This explains, in that, we don't, I don't go to buy the very best car. I don't go to the very nicest restaurant, right? Why not? Well, could I afford it? Yeah. But then this brings us back to yesterday and the idea of opportunity cost. Because if I go to the nicest sushi restaurant, it's going to take up a lot of resources that are going to take away from other things. So it's that balance between the benefit that you get and the cost you have to pay. And when it comes to utility maximization, the assumption is that you're going to try to get as much utility as you can for your resources. All right, I'll see you.